Chapter 5. That's no ordinary goldfish. No, Frankie, I said as I jumped off the toilet and scooped him up. He wiggled in my hands as I dropped him back into the sink. He swam twice in a circle and then up to the surface, where he stared at me, his eyes glowing a bit green. You stay here. I'll be back. I climbed back onto the toilet seat and turned and pushed the window again, wide enough for me to crawl through. That was when I heard the next splash, and then whoosh. Green and gold flashed past my right ear as Frankie leaped out of the window. I stuck my head out in time to see him land in a puddle of rainwater on the garage roof. Jumping down, I quickly dug the plastic he'd arrived in out of the trash. This was too weird. Frankie really wanted to go outside. None of that ping pong ball fish ever did anything like that. Once I filled up a bag with water, I scrambled out onto the roof. I guess you're coming with me then, I said. I scooped up Frankie from the puddle and plopped him in the bag. I tied a knot in the top and held the bag in my teeth as I climbed down the side of the garage. My feet felt for the top of the compost bin. Got it. I jumped there. From there, I jumped down to the lawn. Escape Route 5 was a success, even carrying a fish. Result. I ran around to find the front of the house and peeked through the window. I could see Pradeep's back. He was sitting in a chair, and Mark was standing in front of him, showing him his chemistry set. If Pradeep could just keep Mark downstairs for a bit longer, then Frankie and I could be back before he noticed. In seconds, I was at Pradeep's back door, inching it open. His mom was inside making popcorn. Popcorn kernels popped and banged so loudly he didn't hear the door open. She rolled some popcorn pieces in green marshmallow fluff and then rolled them in blue marshmallow fluff and then squished them into little round globes. Then she poured melted white chocolate over the top of each of the little earths. It took me a second, but then I got it. Melting polar caps. Cool. Samina, he called out. Can you come here and help Mommy take out the party plates? Sammy burst through the kitchen door, dressed in mermaid pajamas with blue and green tail swishing behind her. The tail got caught in the door, yanking her onto the floor with a thud. I covered my mouth so she could hear me laugh. And before you could say anything, laughing at a little sister doing stupid things is totally not evil. It's not even mostly evil. It's just regular. As Pradeep's mom went over to help her, Frankie and I moved over to the cupboard where the party stuff was kept. I crouched low behind the counter and put Frankie on the floor in his bag so that I could open the cupboard and reach inside. Samina, would you like to lick the chocolate bowl? Pradeep's mom asked as she put Sammy back on her feet and then turned to take the chocolate and marshmallow popcorn balls into the living room. I heard the kitchen door shut behind her. Sammy toddled over to the counter that we'd been hiding behind. Bowl, she announced in a really serious way tiny kids have of saying stuff. She stuck her hands in the bowl, smeared them around, and started to lick the chocolate. Then she squealed, "Fishy, fishy!" I peered around the corner to see Sammy jumping up and down on the spot, then frankly swishing his tail in circles and patting his front fins at the same time to roll the bag toward her. How did he figure out how to do that? "Fishy, fishy," Sammy shouted again. I jumped out from behind the counter. "Shh, Sammy." I guess she's gonna scream. That's my guess. Her bottom lip started shaking in that earthquake warning. This tantrum was going to be a 9 on the Richter scale kind of way. I scooped up Frankie off the floor in his bag and handed him to Sammy. She gripped the top with her chocolatey fingers. "I mean, shh, quiet, little fishy," I whispered. "Shh, little fishy," she giggled. She stared at Frankie in the bag. "Swishy, little fishy," she said. I ran to the cupboard and searched for flour, sugar, sprinkles, icing, and tiny little icing polar bears. Ah, food coloring. I grabbed the little green bottle and ran back to Sammy and Frankie. Sammy was holding the bag, but she was much quieter now. She just whispered, "Swishy, little fishy," over and over. Frankie stared at her with his big green bulging eyes, and she stared ahead. What was with this goldfish? He could survive toxic grunge, jump out of windows, and now he could make the noisiest little kid in the planet go quiet. As I looked at Frankie, a little light bulb went somewhere in the back of my head. Frankie's glowing eyes. They look like undead gaze that zombies in Mark's comics use to hypnotize people. And Sammy's stare, one of her eyes was looking at the wall and the other one was looking at my left nostril at the same time. It was a goldfish stare. Maybe I hadn't saved Frankie's life at all. When I shocked him with the battery, maybe I brought him back from the dead, and now Frankie was a big, fat, zombie goldfish, and somehow he has hypnotized my best friend's sister. Aha!